Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.
These are tough times, and they're getting even tougher. The clock is ticking. The countdown to collapse is well underway. What are you going to do about it? Will you just wait for it to happen, or will you be ready when it happens? The decision is yours, and yours alone. Join myself, Mickey Fulp, Robert Ian, David Morgan, Jeff Berwick, Elijah Johnson, Alan Butler, Gregory Manarino, Daniel Amaduri, Andy Hoffman, Tekoa Da Silva, Trace Mayer, one of the world's leading Bitcoin authorities, Bix Weir, Jay Taylor, and Gary Christensen at the Liberty Mastermind Symposium in Las Vegas on February 21st and 22nd, and learn how to create your plan to survive the collapse. The last Liberty Mastermind Symposium was one of the most highly rated conferences ever, and this one promises to be even better. Don't miss it. Join us and register now at libertymastermind.us. libertymastermind.us. This one is going to be out of this world, and it's going to be even better because it's in Las Vegas, Nevada. Go to Liberty Mastermind US and sign up today. You are listening to the FinancialSurvivalNetwork.com. I'm Kerry Lutz on 1230 WBZT. Well, gold's been gyrating up and down. Looked like it was going to test its old lows from a few months ago, but has rebounded in the last few days. We want to find out what's going on. And of course, when you want to know what's happening, you talk to Bill Murphy at the Gold Antitrust Action Committee, better known as GATA.org. Bill, how you doing?
Good, Kerry. Great to be here. Thank you.
Hey, so we got a budget deal out of Congress. No shutdown for the next 2 years. Hallelujah, huh?
Yeah, I think the ratings I think are at an all-time low for Congress. I think they were getting so embarrassed by the thing they had to do something, so they stopped all this nonsense. Because bottom line is they want to get reelected, and things weren't going their way these days, so that they came up with some sort of deal.
Mm-hmm. Well, certainly they must be very proud of Obamacare and how well that's working out for them, at least the Democrats, since the only thing the Republicans have done right in the past 10 years is not one of them voted for Obamacare.
Well, they certainly are jumping all over it. All the conservative TV shows and Republican shows are all over what has occurred in terms of Obamacare, and certainly they deserve the criticism for what happened. I don't need to go there. Everyone knows that story, and it's really been very sort of unprofessional. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out in terms of whether they can fix it and what's going to occur. But only time will tell there.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is that Health and Human Services Secretary Sebelius just asked the Inspector General to basically investigate what happened with the website. In other words, she's calling for an investigation of herself, which that's how insane Washington is these days, that something screws up and nobody takes responsibility. They call for an investigation of where did I go wrong, right?
Yeah, it really is something else to watch.
Pathetic. But the true measure, and interestingly enough, gold, silver prices in this channel stuck in the mud, and then uncontrolled, seemingly unmanipulated Bitcoin has been going through the roof, and all sorts of volatility, insane price movements, and you have to wonder what's going on there.
Well, one of my pet peeves is all this nonsense talk out there, and nobody seems to hit the right issue. Over the past 14 months, Dow's up some 2,500 points. The euro today is about making a high since back then. It's gone up something like 9 points, and yet gold goes down $500. I mean, it just shows you how manipulated this thing is and how aggressive they've been to take on gold and silver, and obviously they must be afraid of something, because it just makes no sense. People now are talking about this taper issue. What is not tapering done for gold and silver? The prices have been slaughtered. Well, everything else has gone exactly the way you might have expected it, but not gold and silver. It's the one thing that stands out. It's a big dichotomy.
That's for sure. I mean, it's amazing that we're looking at the euro at 138, and nothing has been fixed in Europe either. I mean, there's still the Greek economy. It's just imploded. The Spanish economy, not much better. Portugal, Italy, I mean, France, it's a mess. And yet it's going up against the dollar.
And at the same time, we've had all this quantitative easing and various issues which anybody would have thought a year and a half ago would be very bullish for gold, have been the most bearish, given us the most bearish gold market in 13 years. So it just shows you how things are so out of whack.
Yeah, and the demand side in Asia, especially China and India too, even though the Indian government has gone out of their way to try to stomp on demand with tariffs, duties, and import controls, and yet the Indians can't get enough gold, just like the Chinese.
It's been that way for a long time as far as the Indians are concerned, as most people know. And, of course, what's going on in China is really remarkable, and that's going to continue. And basically it's cleaning out the gold from the vaults in the West, and that's what it's going to set up the spectacular moves we have coming in the price in the years ahead.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's just a question of when. And yeah, you look at the silver sales out of the mint in the U.S. and they're through the roof.
Yep.
So we're doing another mastermind symposium like we had back in June, and the theme this time is the clock is ticking, and it's the countdown to collapse, because nothing that the government's done, nothing's worked, nothing's turned it down. The unemployment continues to increase, and really the world economy is still headed downward in spite of all the money printing, in spite of all the government stimulus. Nothing works.
I think that's what they're afraid of, Kerry. They've been taking all these measures from a monetary sense, and here we are with the stock markets going up and up and up, but the average fate of the average person in terms of their well-being is going nowhere, and possibly in many cases it's gotten worse, and the chasm between the rich and the middle class and the poor keeps growing and growing. And yes, the stock market's doing fine. In some cases, real estate markets are doing fine for the time being anyway. But it's not getting anything to get our economy on track. And what are they going to do for an encore now?
Yeah, that's a good question. What comes next? What can they do realistically here, Bill?
I'll throw that one back to you. You're a smarter guy than I. I mean, all they can keep doing is what they have been doing, and maybe even have to do more of it. And all of a sudden, with all this gold, leaving the West and going to China, and the vaults being cleared, and negative interest rates, it's setting up something where people are going to run to our sector because they're going to realize just how tough the situation is. And maybe that's getting back to where we started about this. The Congress. Republicans and Democrats agreeing and coming up with a budget out of nowhere in the sense of surprising a lot of people. It may be just that they really know how bad the situation is, and they don't want to get blamed for it.
Yeah, well, I think when it finally hits the fan, blame is going to be the last thing on most people's minds, don't you think?
Yeah, at some point, if it gets to be as bleak as some of us think it could get because of what they've done here and what it's engendered, yes. Getting out a lie will be key.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, Bill. Today, they come up with a budget. There's no fight. There's no shutdown, no acrimony. And I don't even think that the so-called Republicans, conservatives are going to derail it because, they think that the wind is at their backs. What's the point of it? And really, that would be bullish, it would be basically you'd think that gold would go down a lot and silver, and they barely budged from the whole thing because it's really just for show, isn't it?
Pretty much. I actually would take the other side of the trade on that one. I think that they're behind the scenes because of these ratings and because of what's going on, and the public's getting, is getting fed up with not getting any place. I think they're scared, and I think that that's why they made this compromise, in the sense of that they don't want to be looking at fouling things up even further. I mean, how many years was it they couldn't even get a budget, and it's creating a situation which seems copacetic right now, but it's leading to some real chaos down the road, as you're talking about. And from a GATA standpoint, that's why they crushed the price of gold and silver this past year, why everything else went the way it should have in terms of QE, because they're afraid of what they're going to have to unleash.
Yeah, and I was looking at Kitco. They're actually calling 2013 the year of Bitcoin, interestingly enough.
Yeah, well, God bless the Bitcoin people. I know a few people involved in the very beginning, and of course they've made absolute fortunes, and good for them.
Yeah, well, one of them, Trace Mayer, is going to be at the Liberty Mastermind Symposium. He tried to get me to buy it when it was $7. I ignored him at my peril, I'm afraid. And
well, that's the same with all of us, and Trace is one of the fellows I was mentioning, and good for him.
Yeah, so, I remember having lunch with him about 3 years ago in Manhattan, and he said, you got to buy this stuff, you got to buy it, and I ignored him. I had a feeling he was right, but hey, what can I say? My investment hindsight is 2010, and hey, didn't do it. It's interesting. There's only 21 million Bitcoins maximum in circulation, and you think about that, multiply it times 1,000, that's $21 billion maximum in value at $1,000 a Bitcoin. And you think that anybody can open up their own Bitcoin exchange. This really is the Wild West of electronic currencies.
Yeah, well, it took a lot of creativity and gumption and stick-to-itiveness on their part, and they've earned their fortune, and as I said earlier, good for them.
Yeah, well, I think it's the beginning. I think the gold-backed Bitcoin, although where you store that gold, how you keep it safe, and how you actually do the conversion, that's going to be the challenge. Peter Schiff's got a bank in the Grenadines, I believe, that you actually, not for Americans, but you get a credit card and you have X amount of gold on deposit with the bank, and when you charge an amount, spend money, it actually deducts from your gold deposit with the bank, and you buy more gold and keep it on deposit. So that's kind of the gold money concept in play, but actually through a bank.
Yep.
And maybe that's the future.
Well, it could be.
So anyway, Le Metropole Cafe, what have you got going on there this week,
Well,
Bill?
if anybody's out there, any of your listeners, you can sign up for a 2-week free trial and then see if it's of value. And again, the industry. For me, and every people I know, it's been a really tough year. It's been a depression in terms of the shares, the share prices, the companies, the executives running them, the amount of money involved, the brokers, the deal making, and it's quite something. It's washing things out and setting up some, really spectacular stuff on the upside. But it's just interesting because it's the first time since we've been doing this all these years where you have the Dow going and other stock markets, making these big moves to the upside, especially in the United States, and yet the shares in our sector have just, collapsed this year. And it's setting up something that's going to be remarkable, and all we can do is monitor when that's going to change, and when gold and silver start to make their moves again, these things are set up for monster moves, but for the time being, it's tough sledding.
Yep, it certainly is, but I guess you just have to understand that the fundamentals are there, and eventually the fundamentals do trump.
They will, for sure, and they've been submerged and I'm at nothing of late, but that will all change. Die is cast, and China's the one casting it, so it's just a matter of time, and it's going to be very exciting once we get through this slog period.
Yep. So I encourage everyone, go over to libertymastermind.us, sign up. It's in Vegas, February 21st, 22nd. Either Bill's going to be there or Chris Powell from GATA.org. go over there and get the latest info. They're running news commentary. News feed is phenomenal. And hey, Bill, we'll see you or Chris or both of you over in Vegas, and we're really looking forward to it. Go over to
Kerry.
And financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Go there. You can sign up and click through to the Liberty Mastermind. Sign up for it there. We'll see you soon, Bill.
Thank you, Kerry. Look forward to it. Bye-bye.
Be well. Hi, it's Kerry Lutz. I recently decided to move my retirement account into physical precious metals to hedge against the coming times. If you want to move an existing retirement account into physical precious metals that you can hold in your hand, tax-free, there's no company that can do it more quickly and efficiently than Regal Assets. It took them just 24 hours to open my new IRA account, and all I had to do was fill out one simple form. The best part is that Regal Assets does all the work for you. They cover the setup and administrative costs for 2013. If you're interested in making the same move I did, call 855-678-6620, 855-678-6620. That's 855-678-6620, or visit them at regalassets.com. You'll be glad you did, and tell them Kerry sent you. What happens if the collapse never really comes? You need income, and Jason Hartman can help you get it. He's helped thousands of people realize their dreams of financial independence through real estate investing, and now he's got an unbeatable offer for you. He's offering my ebook, Forget Wall Street, Go for the Gold and Silver Too, for free. Just visit jasonhartman.com/Lutz. The first 100 Financial Survival Network listeners will get the book free. Remember, you can't afford to put all your eggs in one basket. Real estate should be part of a balanced investment portfolio along with gold and silver. Just go to jasonhartman.com/Lutz and sign up today. When it comes to real estate investing, Jason Hartman is the only person we trust on the Financial Survival Network. So make your money work as hard as you do by building an income property empire. Real estate is America's proven investment. Go to www.jasonhartman.com/Lutz and get your free ebook today. That's Jason, HARTMAN.com/Lutz. That's Jason, HARTMAN.com/Lutz. Jason knows how to help you retire with a portfolio of income-producing property. Go to jasonhartman.com/Lutz.
The Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. Get our complimentary newsletter at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. This is the Financial Survival Network.